Today I'm going to be taking you to the Giza Necropolis to explore the Pyramid of Menkaure. Located a few hundred meters southwest of the Pyramid of Khafre and the Great Pyramid of Khufu, the Pyramid of Menkaure was the last and the smallest of the three main pyramids built here in the Giza Necropolis, and is thought to have been built to serve as the tomb of the 4th dynasty Egyptian pharaoh, Menkaure. Before I explain more, let's first get on the ground and get our tickets into the necropolis. Hello and good morning from the Giza Necropolis. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the Pyramid of Menkaure, which is the smallest of the three pyramids, located just behind the Sphinx here. So let's start walking over there and I will tell you more about it. لا شكرا.
Speak Arabic?
شوية.
مرحبا.
مع السلامة.
عايزة جامعة حصان من هنا.
لا 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 عيشة هنا مش بحب كامل.
السلامة.
مع السلامة. Okay, so we have the big pyramid here of Khufu. And then we have the Pyramid of Khafre. And then the little one over there is Menkaure, which is where we'll be heading. And I must say, it is completely quiet out here today. It's like nobody out here. Incredible. I need to make my way to that pyramid though. So I think I'm gonna jump the wall here.
Should I camel?
لا شكرا. عشان مش بحب أجامل.
You're welcome.
شكرا. مع السلامة. They also moved the ticket office around the corner, and someone told me it's around the corner, and I was a little bit distrustful of that, but it turns out it was indeed around the corner. They are doing construction down at the main gate, the Sphinx gate. And the tickets, by the way, you always have to buy the general ticket, which is 540, and that just allows you into the necropolis. The ticket to go inside the Pyramid of Menkaure, of course, and that was 220 Egyptian pounds, additional to the main ticket that just allows you into the necropolis. You can also wear sandals, but I would recommend boots because of the terrain. It's sandy. You want to wander around, and the ground looks like this. So if you don't want little rocks and sand slipping between your
sandals the entire time. Wear boots.
The pyramid complex includes the King's Pyramid, a valley temple, a causeway, a mortuary temple, and 3 Queen's pyramids. Parts of the pyramid were left unfinished, which leads archaeologists to believe that the construction was rushed, likely due to the early death of the pharaoh. The pyramid was constructed from limestone and granite, and though it once stood at 65 meters high, it now measures 62 meters due to the removal of its limestone casing.
You might be wondering what this big gash is in the pyramid, and that is actually from 1197 when the Sultan of Egypt tried to demolish the pyramids of Giza. Ultimately, he was unsuccessful due to the cost of destroying them, but he did manage to leave this big, ugly gash, which is a real shame. What an idiot, but... You too. Okay, let's go inside and explore more.
The pyramid's date of construction is unknown because Menkaure's reign cannot be verified to specific dates. That is because the famed Turin King list is damaged in the exact place with this information. However, estimations conclude it was probably completed around 2510 BC. Menkaure was the 5th ruler of the 4th dynasty of Egypt's Old Kingdom. He was probably the son of Khafre and the grandson of Khufu. Menkaure's pyramid chambers are divided into 3 distinct levels. They include a chamber carved with decorative panels and another with 6 large niches, as well as a vast burial chamber lined with massive granite blocks. The first excavations of Menkaure's pyramid began in 1817, but it was not until 1837 that the first big discovery was made. They found 2 sarcophagi in the burial chamber. The first was Menkaure's large, 8-foot-long black stone sarcophagus, carved with niched panels. And the second was the remains of a wooden sarcophagus, heavily decorated and bearing the name of Menkaure. The wooden sarcophagus is now displayed in the British Museum, but his black stone sarcophagus was lost at sea, somewhere in the western part of the Mediterranean in 1838, when it was being transported to England. Let's head back up and explore more of the area. The bottom quarter of the outer casing stones are made of red Aswan granite, quarried in Aswan over 800 kilometers away. Menkaure died before his pyramid complex was completed, and much of the pyramid's granite casing blocks were not smoothed. On the eastern side of Menkaure's pyramid lies the Funerary Temple, hastily constructed but withstanding the test of time. Inside, it is like a small labyrinth and a cool place to seek shade in the desert heat. Construction began with huge limestone blocks, one of which is the largest block to be found in the whole of the Giza Necropolis. Menkaure was likely able to complete building the limestone walls of the temple. However, the finishing of the temple is attributed to his successor and probably his son, Shepseskaf. Shepseskaf used much weaker materials, such as mud brick, to complete the temple. You can easily see the contrast. Massive, perfectly cut blocks of limestone, and atop that, crumbling mud brick. The western part of the temple is the best preserved. In one of the corridors, the black granite outer casing is still here, in very good condition, over 4,500 years later.
Now we are going to make our way over to the Queen's tombs, which are just on the other side of Menkaura's pyramid.
Like the Great Pyramid, 3 smaller pyramids can be seen next to Menkaure's as well, which were used for the burials of his queens. While it remains unclear who is buried there, these pyramids may have been the resting places of the king's wife and possibly his half-sister.
Alright, so that is just a little taste of inside the pyramid of Menkaure, a little bit of history. There seems to be a little people gathering of camel rides in this area. Something that I was going to mention but I forgot to earlier, they were actually going to reconstruct this pyramid here. Just a few months ago it was announced, but they have since scrapped that plan, thank God, amid public outcry and a committee of experts saying it's impossible. So they were planning on picking up these pieces of granite that have fallen off and completing the outer casing, but of course that would destroy, and they would destroy the pyramid as it is now, which is it has been for thousands of years. So I'm really happy that that was scratched because it's a piece of history and it must remain the way it is. But yeah, that was going to happen. They announced it earlier this year and thank God it is no longer going to happen. So, anyhow. Okay, well, it is 34 degrees, but it is only 9:30. I've been wandering around for about an hour and a half. It is going to be getting a lot hotter today, like I mentioned, up to 42 degrees. So I think that's going to conclude this video, but thank you so much for following along. Stay tuned for what's coming next. And I do plan on coming down here at some point in the future and giving a summary of what to see, what you can do. However, with summer on the way, I think I might wait for winter for that video. But yeah, all right, well, thank you so much, and I will catch you on the next one.